It is Friday, June 14th, 2019. Bitcoin is taking aim at $12,300, and at the end of this video, I'll explain why I think it's going to $80,000 sooner rather than later. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. Before we go on, I recommend that you pause the video and read through the disclaimer because this is just market observation, not trading advice. Let's jump into our main screens. A couple days ago when we did the stream last, we were looking at the RSI divergence off of these three bottoms and recommending that prices probably were surging higher off of this shoulder of the potential head and shoulders top formation. Sure enough, we've got things just eking higher, just as they would in an ascending triangle as a parabolic move is unfolding, as we've seen Bitcoin do in the past. As we were talking about, the RSI had to come stronger for this to be playing out, and there we have it. Next, we were talking, I'll go into this prediction here just by using the Fibonacci's stretched out to the 1.68, right off of this range from here to here, just a basic sort of a guesstimate tool. Let me clear that stuff off and jump into our closer 4-hour time frame. And here again, we're watching the on-balance volume and saying that it's got to be at least up to this level, the 4,000 level. And we've had that nicely over the last 48 hours, nice trickle of steady on-balance volume as Bitcoin prices are easing their way up. I expect that this is going to be doing a big move higher as Bitcoin is stepping up because all of these indicators are really looking great. When we go to the MACD indicator, we were recognizing this divergence the other day as well, and it has continued on. Now, when we go on to this, one more slide first, I'll go back to that. We were also looking at the Ichimoku Cloud, and I was commenting that the cloud hadn't turned to green yet. We were just at the very edge of the conversion line crossing over the baseline and going higher. Now it's poked through the cloud. The cloud is twisted to positive. The conversion line is above the baseline. This is all buy signals. All of this is all confirmation everywhere, all the way along. And I'm going to step back here to the MACD, one of my favorite, because when I zoom out on the 12-hour time frame, this crossover and the positive histograms here are really very positive. That is a great bull signal right there. And if we zoom back out a little bit more and we're looking at the 1-day view, we were talking about this having to come back and cross over. I was anticipating it was going to come back further deeper before the crossover, but now we have it. So as this crosses over and the histogram continues to go to positive, this is really a very bullish moment, and we're probably going to be seeing some more come in. Even gets better when we go to the 5-year view. We were watching for this to be easing off, but now if this histogram goes up in the weekly view up to the next step, this is really, I looked back for this in the charts everywhere and never found an example of it. The only time that we've seen that the histogram has come up positive and eased back and then went more positive is only in the daily view. It hasn't happened in the weekly view yet. So for this to pull back and then to continue on positive is the next stages of the parabolic move up. And I'll talk more about the parabolas in a second. I want to go through these slides. Here is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar versus US dollar. And they were all doing very well right up until here. Just Bitcoin is moving up and they are holding steady. And because they're holding steady as Bitcoin goes up, then the Bitcoin value of each of these coins is going down. They're going down against Bitcoin. And we can see that reflecting in our Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance, I was expecting to be dropping off even though Bitcoin prices were going to be going higher, and I was wrong. This is going up over the last 48 hours. It bounced off the line I was watching so closely. And we can see the same thing happening here in the altcoin market cap versus dominance, where altcoins are losing value against Bitcoin as Bitcoin is showing strength right now. So this is a really important key area that this is bounced off of, and we'll be observing this one in the other stream and going into more detail about how this is affecting all of the alts and make some predictions in that. And there's a link down to that other stream down below. Now I want to close up with my conspiracy theory, my madness theory of Bitcoin prices going more than parabolic. you know what a parabola is. Let me just drag this over here so I can do some drawing. A parabola is accelerating lines all the way up. So if you were to make slopes faster and faster and faster, okay, I didn't draw that very well. It goes from almost flat sideways to almost flat to the top. And there's increasing slope lines all the way along. You could draw 1,000,000 of them if you're into calculus. You could just continue to draw them. There's your parabola, a parabolic move from straight sideways to straight upwards. You see them all the time right in a box. You'll see this nice smooth corner. That generally is a parabola. It's a parabolic change. Now, I think Bitcoin is going to do more than a parabola. It's going to do what it's doing now in the parabolic move, but there's going to be a point in the parabolic move that we're going to hit what is called an inflection point. And from there, we go straight up, and then it does another parabola at the other end. So we have the curve at the beginning, we have the straight up, and we have the parabolic ease off at the end. And this is the very same thing you would see if you were doing a titration curve and you were checking out the pH strength of a buffer. So as the buffer is overloaded and there's just no more buffer, one drop of that acid will change the buffered solution pH massively over one drop. It'll take one drop, one drop, one drop, one drop, one drop, almost no change. Finally, you get to a moment where there's just nothing, no buffer left. And one drop is all it takes to move the prices up this much. It may not be that much volume. There's huge volume coming up here, and then the volume will change out over here again. So this is my guess that we're going to go into a parabolic move that is going to have an inflection point, and then it's going to ease off with the parabolic at the top. And my thinking is this is going to be an order of magnitude. An order of magnitude from 8,000 would be up to 80,000. And so it's not going to be anything that I don't see anybody, no one would want to predict something as crazy as that. No one would want to have predicted that back in 2015 that we were going to actually hit 20,000 when we were at $250. It's just illogical. And yet we've seen it happening. And the reason I think this is because of this chart. You can go and Google it. It is all of the world's money and markets in one visualization. And I've brought this chart up a few different times, so if you've seen this before, it won't shock you. But look at the total market cap of silver compared to cryptocurrencies back in October 2017. So it's kind of out of date. We can just guess that this is double. I don't know, who knows. But even still, it's very small compared to the size of the major companies in the world. It's very small compared to the richest people. It's very small compared to the size of gold. Bitcoin is only one of these squares right now. And gold is very much more. If Bitcoin is better than gold, soon we're going to see Bitcoin holding many more squares. Now, if we scroll down, and you can scroll down, you can see how big the stock market is. You can see the global money supply, and Bitcoin is one of those squares. So if we go down to the global debt, and we go to the global real estate size, Bitcoin is just one of these squares so far. Then we get down to the derivatives. This is the low end of the estimate of the derivatives. Look at how many squares there are here. And if you scroll down, you scroll down, you're scrolling down, you're scrolling down. This is the low end of the estimate of the derivatives. Then we get to the gray. This is the high end of the estimate of the derivatives, and we're scrolling down and we're scrolling down. Bitcoin is only one of these squares, right? Bitcoin is one of these squares. And so all we have to do is have one of these rows move over to Bitcoin, and it's inconceivable, but Bitcoin will definitely do an inflection point beyond parabolic if we have this kind of change happening in the global money supply over to Bitcoin. So this is why I look at these charts and I think we haven't seen nothing yet. This is just the very beginning of it all. And that's my review here for today. So as we zoom in on the great old fantastic thing, it's better just to hold right now. And if you're looking for, this is a great shape of a chart pattern. Really amazing stuff going on. And I can't wait to do the live stream now on all of the cryptos to get right into the details of how those are turning out right now, to watch which ones are resisting this price, which ones are cracking worst, and get some analysis on that, because I was anticipating that the altcoins were going to boom with Bitcoin. That's still not out of the question, but Let's see how far out of the question and get to know if these alts are dropping and we should be selling all of our alts into Bitcoin right now or not. That's the big question. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate having you guys here. Hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe so that you're here for the next episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos here on YouTube, you may also enjoy my newsletter. Begin by downloading the most important trading strategy we teach. And then, once a week, I send out an inspiring email about making your money work for you by micro-trading cryptocurrencies. You can sign up for that over at digitalcurrencytraders.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.